What's up, YouTube? Today I want to talk about designer scents, and I want to talk a little bit about, like different levels of fragrance. Like, we're all going to be doing a little bit of collecting, and we're all going to be going through stores and places, and there's going to be a lot of stuff, that can get pushed on you. And, personally, I think a lot of department store scents tend to copy, and they tend to follow. Like, you'll get the Lacoste and the Armanis, and some of the brands some of the Hugo Bosses and the Gucci's, traditionally, that would create new stuff. But then, you'll have a lot of magazine ad stuff, and they'll put sex appeal in the ad, make you think you have to have this fragrance. And so then it becomes a huge dilemma. What do I buy? Now, a lot of fragrances are money grabs, even if they aren't celebrity scents, even if they don't look like it. They can make a lot. You can see a lot of flankers in a short period of time for a fragrance, and some of them are good, some of them aren't. Like Polo Blue traditionally is a very popular scent, and then they make Polo Black. Polo Black is a failure, and it's just not a very good, well-made fragrance. It doesn't smell good to a lot of people. And then you get Polo Double Black, which is okay, but it's a lot of people compare it to Armani Code, and they suddenly start to say, okay, what are they doing now? Because a lot of these brands suddenly see a fragrance, and they try and copy it so much. You see Le Male, and then there's so many Le Male copies. So that's one thing about this, because you will find, like in a department store, now, like Mont Blanc Starwalker and the Mont Blanc fragrances are good, refined gourmands. And like Joe Bomb is a classic, but it has to be worn well. But then you start to see a lot of stuff at department stores that starts to smell lacking. And a lot of it, you'll find a lot of citrus scents, and you find a lot of fresh stuff. And nowadays, there's a lot more woody aromatic and the fougere kind of fragrances out there. But you start to get more, into people are looking at what sells. And so a lot of times people make a mistake of focusing on the bottle. And like Ed Hardy has made this mistake. They focus more energy on the top notes. And then like Love and Luck and a lot of those fragrances fall flat. And so then, that's where you start to see disappointing fragrances. But in a department store, if you know what you're looking for, you can find a good fragrance. You just gotta walk through the mall, maybe spray your wrist, decide if it's you. Like I go in there, they showed me English Laundry. To me, it was a soapy scent, and they showed, Polo Blue is obviously a bestseller, and Acqua di Gio and Armani Code, and a lot of that's Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue are bestsellers, and they have pleasant smells to a lot of people, so they sell a lot. Now, a brand like that can turn around and say, okay, we're selling a lot, we're going to go ahead and we're going to amp up a few notes in this fragrance, and we're going to get a bunch of hard bodies and a picture in a magazine, and then we're going to, push this new product. And then they can end up finding, coming up with money grabs. And where it's not very original, all of a sudden you don't get the dry down. Like Robes actually looked at a new version of Burberry Brit and London, where they started to make flanker and they started to make new additions, and they smelled lacking. And they took, basically, the fragrance didn't develop, and it wasn't the original juice. It was a new one. So that's one thing about this. Like a lot of times you'll see a fragrance that is so popular, they try to make a new version of it. And then when they try and make new versions, or they try and make flankers, they do it in a short period of time. They get a perfumier to do it really fast, and they don't get it perfected. And now, when it comes to flankers, and when it comes to stuff, Amen, Thierry Mugler Pure Malt and Body Coros are the best flankers in the world. Those are true flankers that actually are good. But you see, a lot of times you'll see a scent, and they'll make a fresher, lighter version of it, and then it's just unnoticeable. And a lot of that is a money grab. And when you look at a lot of these fragrances, you look at the quality of the ingredients. When you spray it on, when you try it, some of the fragrances a lot of people say are disappointing truly don't have the good quality ingredients to have a lasting smell. And their oils are cheaper. And so they're focusing more on this top note, so you'll buy the bottle. And then once you get the bottle, chances are you won't wear it that much. If you got Thierry Mugler Pure Malt and Body Coros, and you got a lot of really good scents, and then you buy some CK flanker, or, some of the money grabs, then you probably wouldn't wear it that much. So it all gets down to, whether they're making something or not. Now, a lot of brands will push a lot of products in a short period of time, and they're out there to make money. And so this is where, when it comes to collecting fragrances, I personally like Enigma Nardo. And I think she's a genius. I think she does a good job with gourmand scents. She tends to do a good job with warmth. And then you have people like Oliver Polge who do a pretty good job too. And you have certain good perfumiers that can use spices and resins and woods and really do good stuff. And, like with money grabs. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, now when it comes to money grabs, now, I've been collecting for about 10 years. So, honestly, like, when I see reviews and I go on YouTube and stuff, we're going to talk money grabs. And Black XS will never be a money grab just because it has a nose with art making this scent. It smells kind of like bubble gum to you. It's a sweet worm kind of scent, but it does have some woods and spice. And the pralines and the ingredients in that make it really addictive. So, I mean, you can't describe the scent. You have to smell it, you have to wear it and try it, because it'll never smell the same time you wear it. But it has this kind of X factor to it. So, like Paco Rabanne, Black XS. Now, this is a disappointment for me, because I don't see this stuff being advertised in department stores. I don't see this or Honey Mori HM or Body Koros or Dirty English or some of the, like, really well-made scents. I don't even see 1 million in some of those stores. So it's like, I like assortment. I don't like when I go in the store and everything smells the exact same. Then it's like no point buying. But like, Georgia Beverly Hills Green, the original one, this actually smells very dated when you first spray it on. But then the spices and the amber and, the moss and the rich notes give this a feel that is like nothing else. I mean, Georgia Beverly Hills is anything but a money grab. They've made 3 cents out of the 80s and 90s. They took a lot of time making each one, and they each have a community that tends to support them, like Georgia Beverly Hills. I was wearing that, to work, and a lot of people said it smells really good, and I was shocked. First, I got the bottle, heard some good reviews. It was a little green. I was like, oh no. But then you wear it, boom, great scent, great dry down, long lasting. Georgia Beverly Hills Red. Very fresh, spicy, aromatic fougere with just a touch of mach, very macho scent. Now this one, base notes, loves this fragrance. Like, this is one of the forgotten fragrances that are not money grabs. They're out there. If you see this, definitely want to check it out. If you don't like it, there's definitely going to be somebody who can, because this is different. And this is where they're actually making a macho smell. And they're not making fresh or sweet scents. And like Honey Mori HM, this is truly not a money grab. Okay, here's the thing about this fragrance. Honey Mori is a Japanese woman. It took very difficult for a Japanese person to make it in the French fashion business just because they're an outsider. But, it's like Americans will never make it in the French fashion business. They always love to go off on American fragrances as smelling like water. So Honey Mori HM is not a money grab. This is one of the few fragrances that are anything but a money grab. Like Honey Mori HM and Body Koros have that niche quality smell. And so, maybe you're spending a little more for this bottle, but it's worth every cent. And this is a long-lasting fragrance. You will not get to dry down for a while, but this smells good. It has like this gourmandish, kind of fresh. It has a little bit of floral in it, in the middle notes. And, at first it seems like a fresh citrusy scent with some vanilla. And then it starts to become more green. It starts to have that green floral tone to it, and the mint and the vanilla and the touch of chocolate come in the dry down. And then they bring this out. And the amber and the tonka bean, all those ingredients in this actually make it really good. And, basically, like, Honey Mori basically, she basically took lemon and lavender and black currants and pretty common ingredients. And then she added a few florals that she knew would work well in this blend. But then when she adds the sandalwood and tonka bean and amber and moss, that's what lights up this dry down. And so the amber and tonka bean kind of give it a little sensuality, and basically, it's a good scent. And when they work well with the vanilla and chocolate, I see this as a monumental fragrance. And, this is example of art because this woman instantly got international acclaim for that fragrance. She pushed it out, bam, Honey Mori was like a fragrance champion. I mean, her and Anik Minardo are geniuses. And they're the kinds of people that, fragrance collectors tend to respect. And now, like, get an ugly ass bottle like this one, and I like the fact this is an ugly bottle with a tall cap. Pretty ugly looking bottle and not very interesting looking box, but wow. I got some moss, and then there's a little bit of vanilla and tonka bean. This one, it's made in 1989, but this one was smelled on, like in base notes, the people smelled this on people in Paris 20 years ago. Very good scent, very well made. It definitely has a good dry down to it. It's a little strong, but it's not a money grab at all because, it's very hard to get, and people just haven't heard of it. Yet people in Fragrantica who have seem to love it. And so, again, like with 1 million, I ended up with pure gold. 1 million's a little too strong for my taste, and I want something to wear to work, so pure gold's better for that kind of purpose. Now, if I'm going clubbing, hell no. But like 1 million's too strong, so 1 million's an example of a scent where you get a good perfumier. Now, Paco Rabanne tends to make sweet scents. That's one thing you know about Paco Rabanne. He'll take warm notes and put them into a fragrance, and like Ultraviolet and Black XS, and a lot of those fragrances tend to have the sweetness to it. And they do a good job with warmth. So like 1 million is a good clubbing scent. Now, this doesn't smell very much different. So, I mean, like, in a City Trends, it's actually the place to go for knockoffs. Not the dollar store, not some Family Dollar or cheap place, but City Trends can actually get you some reasonable stuff. Now, if I can find the cap. Like, when it comes to knockoffs, it all depends on art. And if somebody tries different notes and they put different ingredients together and they make it work. And you can have some people in a brand that just want to have a citrus, then it has a little bit of floral in the middle, and then woodsy musk at the end. And it's pretty boring. And then you have some salesperson's like, oh my God, you got to buy this. Oh my God, this is great. Everybody loves it. And it's like, okay. They're obviously trying to push a sale on you. And that's where, you'll see some hits and misses everywhere you go. So, it's one of my reviews, and thanks for watching.